Hi, my name is Eugenia, and welcome back to my channel. As I've been progressing on my own spiritual journey, I started noticing that my relationships with guilt and subsequently shame started changing, and this is something I would like to cover in this video. Because as I know now, you can use these feelings in order to ground yourself and practically become a better person. So, without further ado, let's dive in. We're going to talk about two groups of mistakes that cause us the feelings of shame and guilt. And the first one is, well, easy, unserious mistakes, practically just harmless behavior. Maybe you said something stupid in class, maybe you misinterpreted someone's actions as flirting and you acted inappropriately, or maybe you were caught picking your nose in public. Things like that have happened to every one of us, and I'm sure even more than once. The thing is, when a situation like this happens, our natural response is to start blaming ourselves and maybe even call ourselves names, things like stupid. And it's all ego games. As modern people, we live quite far away from nature and we're usually not in touch with our own spiritual needs. Practically, we do not have any access to humility. Humility can only come from the realization of your own small place in a greater world. On top of that, there's just such a thing as mind trap. We are all, most of the time at least, are trapped in our own consciousness, and that's the only consciousness we can experience, and that's why we might be misled to believe that we are the best, the smartest, the strongest, the prettiest, and so on and so forth, simply because we do not have access to other people's minds. We only have access to the outcomes of the minds. These two combined end up in our ego clinging to the idea of perfection. And mind you, perfection doesn't have to mean that you're perfect in every single way. It can manifest as you taking one of your personality traits to the extreme. However, evolutionary, as we know, perfection means stagnation. You've probably heard of this creature, which name I do not remember, but I'm gonna put the picture and its name somewhere here. It's also known as God's perfect creation, and it practically hasn't evolved for decades of thousands of years. We as people and wider as mammals are supposed to evolve, or if you do not like the term evolve because it means that you're moving from worse to better, we're meant to change. Even more so, if we don't change, if we don't move one way or another, it's a telltale sign of depression. If you don't want anything from life, you lose your will for life. We don't need perfection, all we need is authenticity. And authenticity comes from both successes and mistakes. If you're brave enough to give up your obsession or attachment to a certain idea of yourself, you will discover that life has much more to offer to you than you ever deemed possible. The second group is more serious mistakes. And what it practically means is every experience that you had when you hurt someone, yourself included, would be counted as bad or serious mistake. I gotta say that it happens more often than we might think. However, the way our society is structured and the way we like to label people as toxic prevents ourselves and others from facing our own experience of wrongdoing others or ourselves and prevents us from healing from this experience and moving on with our own life. Now, story time to make people feel a bit better about their own experience. I definitely did wrong other people. For example, when I was a kid and a new girl would join my local dance school, I would badmouth her and I would overall act mean towards her. I guess you could say that I was a borderline bully, if not, a full on bully. And then later in high school, I acted very much mean towards my best friend. I said all sorts of nasty things to her. I tried to have my way with her. I wouldn't really listen to her opinion. Just your average mean stuff. And there were many more experiences like that. Probably still are to this day, because I am still a human being and I do have toxic tendencies as well as anyone else. I used to deny these experiences, to run away from these stories, because as you know, it's much better, easier, more comfortable to present yourself as the one who's bullied and not the one who bullies. And I've definitely been on both ends of the spectrum, and so were the most people, I assume, if not all. What I'm trying to say is not that I approve of my past, and not that I approve of these actions, of course not, but it's important to accept these experiences as part of your past. And acceptance does not mean indulgence. As I said, I do not approve of what I did to my friend. I'm not trying to say that bullying your friends is a great pastime. Of course not. But accepting that a certain thing happened and recognizing my role in this experience and recognizing the consequences this experience had makes me much more humble. Quite often, the mere fact of being on a healing journey has the opposite effect on people. Instead of being more humble, they become more arrogant. Instead of being kind towards others, they feel that they are better people and everyone owes them something. And while healing your own wounds and healing from your past is something to be proud of, the pride alone is nothing without humility. The feelings of guilt and shame give us a great opportunity to stay grounded. They practically remind us of our own humanity. They tell us that we're not better than anyone else. We just are, just like anyone else. We're just people. And this is it. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this video or, well, not. It's a whole new style for me to just do some talking videos. I hope you could find something useful in it. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.